music? Is this something that you listen to in your free time? Are you exposing yourself constantly?
Yeah, big time. I'm getting a bit old for it now, but it's always been my first love, really, and probably painting is probably my second love. I think in Britain we do produce the odd good film and the odd good filmmaker, but we produce much better music than film. We're much better at pop music, and it's our language around the world. It's what connects the whole of the world to us in some way. So I've been part of that. I can't produce music, but I listen to it constantly, devoted to it really. So that's I guess my first love, and I try and reflect that in the films. And when we started with Shallow Grave and Trainspotting, we were criticised by a lot of people that the films were too MTV, which was just starting in Europe then. And I didn't see that although it was intended as a criticism, I actually took it as a compliment. Because it was clearly what was out there. You know, we were going to know, the soundtrack was going to accompany our lives in a way it hadn't quite as much previously. And now, of course, we all have playlists, you know, and so it was something that I felt very proud to try and develop in storytelling and in character and situations, and sometimes it would not be subtle, it would not be invisible. I want the songs or the music to feel like a character, to be present, and it reminds you of different things because everybody has a different relationship with the song. Sometimes you feel, you think, wow, I haven't heard that for years, or sometimes it's used inappropriately to a scene deliberately, so I like that dynamic that extra dynamic that music allows you to create.
And do you find that electronic music goes with your style of filmmaking more? You have a very kinetic camera that tends to move a lot. Do you feel that works better with electronic music than, say, rock or any other type of?
Yeah, I think it's probably just personal taste, but yeah, that will may come down to that. I love films to declare themselves early on, you know, to be... David Lean says that, actually. He says you should declare your film in the first 5 minutes. You should make people know what they're going to watch in the first 5 minutes. You know, the intention of the film, the energy or the electricity of the film has to be there in the first 5 minutes. And certainly that's something I try to follow. And it's often why we have sequences at the beginning that are, you know, startling. And I love chucking people into a film so that, you know, you've got two options really. You go with it or you walk out. You know, it's kind of, it's not, they're not, I don't want them to be reflective experiences as you watch them. That can be for afterwards. But I want them to be immersive experiences when you're sitting there at that moment. Because I find that moment of all these strangers sitting together, watching a big screen with actors on it, I find that kind of mythic and kind of timeless. I know it isn't timeless, obviously, because it's just 100 years, but there's something about it that connects us with the deep need for storytelling, which we lose ourselves in. And it's just the most modern way of telling that, that's all. But it feels mythic to me.
And can you tell us a little bit about Trainspotting 2 and where you are with that?
Yes, so having said that Despicable 2 is a great shame that that's dominating the cinema, we ourselves are going to do a sequel, yes, no, but we've got a plan to try and do a sequel to Trainspotting, but it would be a very, very different film, because what it would be about is it would be about the same actors playing the same characters 20 years later. So it would be for 2016, which is when the film will be 20 years old. And it is, we considered making it 10 years ago when it was, you know, in 2006. But the actors didn't look any different, really, to how they looked in the... They did a little bit, but they look after themselves, actors, you know, they're careful about...
Pickle.
Yeah, no, well, no, I think they're in a spa with cream on them every weekend. They like to give you the impression they're hard drinkers and, you know, they're shoving back the tequila every weekend, but I think they're in the health spa actually. Anyway, they didn't look very different, but now, I met them all recently, and now they do look different, you know. And that's not that we all do, of course, it's part of the human, you know, it's part of our chain. But I think that will be the energy that the film is about time. And what you make of it, what you've done with it, you know, your regrets and what can lie before you when so much lies behind you. It'll be that kind of, which will be a surprise, I hope, for people. It certainly will be a surprise for everybody turning up and expecting to see them running in the street again. They're too old for that now. We've already got one location, which is the Museum of the Mummies. Seriously, we went to the Diego Rivera Museum this morning as well, which was amazing because there's these paintings that I'd never seen, these paintings of the Mayan creation myth, which were just incredible. Anyway, so, but this is to my shame, this is my first time in Mexico, and and Daniel has been extraordinary the way he's invited me. Really, since Trainspotting, he's been writing, and each year I'd love to come, but you know, you're filming or something and you can't come. So this year I'm very proud to be here, and I would love to come back, certainly. And seeing Heli last night was wonderful. I mean, that was a seriously honourable experience to be able to watch that film where it was made, and in the presence of the filmmaker and the crew, and the cast lined up at the end on stage. That was very moving, actually, so that was a wonderful experience for me. So thank you all for that.